Mr. Baines?
Yes.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I think so. Pretty well.
All right. Well, Chuck's a nuclear engineer, so if he can't figure it out, nobody can. All right, ready?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Go ahead and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is true and accurate?
Yes, I do.
All right, thank you, Mr. Jorde.
Yes, sir. Please state your name.
Delmar Baines.
And Mr. Baines, you have land that your son was just talking about, but it's owned specifically by a trust that you set up. Is that right?
This is correct, yes.
And your son talked a little bit about future land use and his interactions with Summit, but you're here and able to talk about any other topic should people have questions. Is that right?
Yes, I think so.
And the exhibits are already in, but as to the testimony that you prepared on the kind of the everything else topics, if I were to ask you all those same questions today, would the answers you previously given be substantially similar?
Yes.
Okay, and you're prepared if needed to talk about any reroutes or tile or issues with the land, is that right?
I think so, yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to let some other folks ask some questions about you, okay?
Sure.
Thank you.
Mr. Jorde.
I didn't hear that.
It's Thursday. Mr. Taylor.
Thank you. Mr. Baines, did you hear your son's testimony a few minutes ago?
Most of it. I hard of hearing, so but I heard it, yes.
Okay. I want to ask you about your contacts with any agents or representatives of Summit. Do you recall approximately when was the first time you had any conversation or a contact with a Summit agent?
I don't know. 6 months ago, I didn't say. My time frame could be off.
Okay, fair enough. What was the nature of your conversations with the Summit agents?
Well, they talked to price and they wanted me I wanted the easement, and I won't give no easement. But I wasn't interested at all, whatever they had to say. Farm's been there was a home. This farm was originally homesteaded in 1913 by my grandfather, and we just kind of given the Baines family ever since. We hate to have it all messed up by somebody trying to put a pipeline through the whole farm. And it ruined the whole farm because it's at a 45-degree angle. And there's no way to cross it decently with the heavy equipment we have today. Hard to get from. It just won't work with the type of soil and everything we have. I guess I don't want to talk about it. I don't think it's necessary.
Did you discuss different alternative routes with the land agents?
Somewhat. I guess my biggest thing would be running straight one direction or another, east-west or north-south. Alternatives. Use the old railroad right away. That's been all messed up anyway, and they don't use that from Superior west. And so, different route, I don't think it's necessary to go through my farm to go nowhere. They don't have no outlet for it, so I don't see any reason to have to put a pipeline through the property to scar for life.
Is that railroad an active railroad or is that abandoned?
River?
Is it railroad?
Oh, railroad, yes. Yeah. Yes, from Superior west, it's been abandoned, yes.
Okay, and so you were suggesting that the pipeline could go on that abandoned railroad right away?
Well, that was my thought, yes.
Okay. And let's look at, if we can, page 249 of Mr. Baines' direct testimony. It's attachment 22. Yes. Can you see that?
Yeah, pretty well, yes, I think so.
Does that show your proposed reroute?
I guess I didn't show a real how that, no. Because from Superior to the west.
Okay. Well, there's kind of a stair step there. Is that your proposed reroute?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
More so it's not cutting across 17 that way. So, yes.
So would this basically be toward the boundaries of your property?
Yes, I think.
Okay. But your first choice would be not to have the pipeline at all, correct?
Pardon me?
Your first choice would be not to have the pipeline at all.
This is correct, yes.
What did the land agent say, if anything, when you presented this alternative to them?
He was trying to make it sound like it was well worth the money, but for scarring it for life, I can't see where anybody is going to make the difference. So just, if it's too much, it's a Baines family. I guess the money don't, it's just what people Baines family. Money, it's not that big a deal. Just what inheritance passed down to the family without scarring it all up.
Do you have any heirs or other family members that
Well, I
have or will take over the property?
Well, I got my sister and my brother-in-law have an income off of it, and
So are they the ones who farm it?
no, they won't farm it. I've had the farm rented out, but if it's pipeline goes through, it's going to be pretty tough to get a decent price for it because it's all for the heavy equipment, and it just messes everything all up.
Okay. Did the land agents or any representatives from Summit mention eminent domain to you?
Yes.
What did they say?
Well, I guess I don't remember exactly what they did say. I just wasn't intimate. I just wasn't going to sign anything anyway. So, eminent domain wasn't easy. No, I don't know what these answer there. I guess.
Thank you. That's all the questions I have.
Ms. Colas?
Hello, Mr. Baines. I'm way back here. Way back.
Okay.
Here I am. I just have a few questions. Do you need the income or use the income from your farm rents?
Yes.
Have your renters indicated they're hesitant to use their farm equipment over this pipeline?
Yes. Yes, I don't want to use equipment over the pipeline.
Are you concerned of the damage that construction of the pipeline might do to your land?
Yes, definitely. I got I guess we get this later, but there's a lot of peat ground type of soil, and it's only like 2% of it of peat in earth. Peat ground is very unstable, and it's can shift real easy with water. And if it was to run this pipeline through the area they're talking here, they're trying to go, well, there's a main county tile that runs approximately the same routing as what they're proposing for this pipeline. And this county tile runs from about 3 feet to about 14 feet deep. And they'd be right within, could be the same routing in this.
Can you show us on the KMZ map where that county pipe is?
No, I guess I don't know exactly how to do that. Where
There's a pointer on the desk. You might have to lift it up higher.
I'm not doing it right, I don't think. Oh, okay. Which one, the top one?
Yep.
Okay, maybe I got it figured out. Now, what were you asking her?
Where does the county pipe or tile run?
About the same area as what they're trying to put this pipeline through. It crosses the county main line, comes in about here, and then that goes basically the same diagonal, and then comes out to that northwest corner, which is the outlet for the county, to where this approximately the same area as where that main county tile is.
Okay. You also mentioned that you were concerned about the type of land or ground you have. Does that bring concern of a possibility of a rupture?
Oh yeah, that peak ground's unpredictable. I could shift and make the rupture a little more easily, I think. And they're also running up and down some unlevel ground, which then frost could shift things around and cause the rupture a little easier. This peak ground and that just don't mix. I don't feel it's necessary to have a pipeline across the peak ground. There used to be water around 3/4 3/4 of the way around this farm. Used to be all lake. Used to be a lot of water problems. So then it makes it a little more unpredictable, especially with peak and water in county tile. I don't know. I just don't think it's necessary.
So the money you spent on tiling has helped alleviate that problem.
It's made the income much more. Yes, yeah. I mean, the tiles made a decent farm out of this place to farm. I mean, it's real nice and productive and everything now with tile line going through it. But it's not a pattern tile. You got tile kind of scattered all over due to the loneliness of the farm. And so it's not a pattern tile. So you can't. More unpredictable.
The expense you spent on that tile, though, has made you able to plant better crops and provide to get, as a result of that, tillable acres.
This is correct, yes.
At any time with the summit, did they talk about the hazards or risk of putting in this pipeline to you?
I can't recall they really talked about the risk. I know that the first responders are not really acquainted with the CO2 or what to do if they do have a problem. So I think it's a big safety problem. And the buildings, I've lived there, well, just step back a little bit, I lived there all my life. Father passed away when I was about 8. And when we rented the farm out for a period of time with a neighbor across the road. Yeah, then I guess it was after my mother passed away, then we got down to me and my my two sisters at the time. One sister's already passed away, so that part of hers went to her husband, I guess, the equipment riders. I guess I don't know what to say.
Thank you, Mr. Baines, and I want to thank your son for bringing you today to testify. Thank you. No further questions.
Mr. Jorde for redirect.
I didn't. Delmar.
Yes.
I didn't have any further questions. I appreciate your testimony.
There's nothing else. Pretty well.
Thank you, Mr. Baines. We appreciate.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You did great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's all.
That's all.
Okay.
Safe
Thank you.
travels. Thank you for coming.